I first met John, I met John socially. I knew John socially for years before we ever actually played together. But then over the subsequent years would bump into him occasionally at airports or backstage at festivals that we were both on. And he called me one day out of the blue as I was about to fly back into New Orleans to see if I was interested in working on this gospel record. And so I landed about an hour before he was due to take off and leave. And so we had about 10 minutes in the studio and we got together and actually played for the first time, and it was fine and felt good. So we ended up a few months later making a record, the Piety Street record, with some New Orleans musicians. And after the record was made, we toured in the States and in Europe and in Asia too. And then we ended up both together playing on a gig in New York with Soul Live, where we did a duet, and that worked so good we said, let's just go and do some more of this. So here we are out on the road now. This is perhaps the third tour we've done together. When you hear 2 or 3 notes of a Scofield solo, you know it's him immediately. And that's really a mark of distinction. There are so many people beavering away with the same 12 notes. He has a very distinct voice. He is endlessly creative and imaginative. And I dig the fact that his jazz playing comes from primarily starting from a love of the blues. And then, we can go into other areas too. The stuff we play on the gig is pretty eclectic, really, and quite a funny mix of styles. It's everything from pretty out, John doing pretty out improvisation, to us playing funk grooves or playing Jamaican grooves, playing New Orleans 12/8 Smiley Lewis kind of grooves. John's known as primarily a jazz guitar player and a bebopper and a fusion expert and someone that cooks up all kinds of strange heady brews of different musical spices and colours, and one might think that our approaches would be technically kind of sort of incompatible, but it actually works together really well because we both do different things. But there are areas where there's many areas where our tastes coincide. We love a lot of the same stuff. If we both played exactly the same style, it would be kind of pointless. But the fact that we do different things means that when you put the two styles together, it just works. And it wouldn't necessarily work with every musician, but with our particular approach to playing, it makes for a really unusual combination, but it really does work. And I do duets I work with other musicians, and it goes in a different direction. John has all other kinds of projects, and it goes off in another direction. But with the two of us play together, it's a kind of heady mix of rhythm and funk, and the kind of soul that comes from your heart, and then married with a very cerebral kind of intellectual approach that isn't just flying off at random. It's really rooted and tied to the raw, basic thing that is the nucleus of what we're putting out there on the stage. Everything we do is improvised around a framework. So there's sort of infinite potential variety every time we sit down to play the same song even. Like Frank Zappa said, like talking about music is like dancing about football.